Welcome to our second part of our Shakti yoga practice. I'm Laura, and today we're going to be working on a practice that incorporates some circular and very flowing kind of movements to increase our connection to Shakti, or the feminine creative energy. And we'll start out down on our mat, resting your forehead down onto the floor, resting your palms on the floor in a very soft, comfortable child's pose. Taking your inhale, lifting up into sitting, let the arms sweep up. Turning the palms toward you and dropping the forearms, dropping the head down. Inhale, lifting into seated, opening the arms wide into a T, drawing the thumbs back and opening through the heart. As you exhale, draw the palms of the hands into the heart. Let your head bow. And then we'll roll back down into child's pose. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, drop the palms down. Drop the head down. Inhale, open out into a T. As you exhale, draw into the heart. So this is our Hasta Vinyasa for the practice. It's our arm and breath sequence. From there, dropping down into child's pose, we'll lift up onto the knees, sweep the arms overhead, and then same arm movement. We drop the back of the hands to the floor, bow the head. Inhale, arms out into a T. Exhale, draw into the heart. So just opening up that movement. We exhale down into child's pose. Inhale, kneeling mountain, arms overhead. Exhale, back of the hands to the floor as you fold down. Let your forehead come down to the earth. Inhale, arms open into a T. Reach your thumbs back. Your exhale draws the palms into the heart, Anjali Mudra. And then settling down to the mat, child's pose. We'll inhale and start to move ourselves up. Tuck the toes underneath, lifting the hips into downward facing dog. And like usual, you can start out by pedaling your feet back and forth. Then we're going to add some little rolling movements. Rolling forward into a plank, rolling back, lifting your hips up, swaying the hips from side to side. We're just taking some movements to create space, really let yourself settle in. Inhale, plank, little elbow bend in your plank, then roll that back into down dog. You can see this fluid ripple through the spine. Roll forward, soft elbows, roll the hips back and up. And then one more time, roll forward, dropping your knees this time, finding a little chest lift, then scooping the hips back and up. The right leg is going to sweep up into a three-legged dog, and you start to circle your ankle, maybe finding some more mobility to draw the leg behind you and bend the knee. Then squaring the hips off, circle your ankle, draw the knee underneath your body. Find a little hovering plank with the knee, swing your leg back and up. Maybe it goes behind you, and you can take a little circle with your hip, bending the knee, drawing it underneath the body, and dropping your right foot down. We'll switch over and do the same thing on the other side. Left leg swings up, then draw the knee underneath. Swing the leg back and up, bend the knee. Kind of dangle your foot behind you. You might be able to turn your head and look toward your foot. Squaring the hips off, draw the knee underneath your body, and kick the leg back and up. Then we move into a little bit of a circle with the knee. And then a circle with the ankle. Not being too particular, just kind of moving in a flowing circular direction. Draw the knee up, and finally place the left foot back down. Settling into your down dog, we'll do that roll forward into high plank. And this time coming down onto your belly. Settling yourself all the way onto the mat. And from there, we'll bring in our freedom and our rolling kind of movement. Inhale, lifting up through the spine. Exhale, rolling down. We're going to lift and lower in our cobra. As you lift, rolling your head to one side. Exhale yourself down. The next time you come up, roll your head over to the other side. Get some fluid movement through your neck. Rolling one way, going very gently with your neck, and rolling the other way. We'll tuck the knees underneath the body and start to press back into child's pose. Lifting yourself up into kneeling mountain, and we'll come back into our Hasta Vinyasa. Flip the palms, back of the hands come down to the mat. Inhale, open into a T, lift onto the knees. Exhale, palms to the heart, bow down into child's pose. Now let's start to tuck our toes underneath. We'll come through downward facing dog. From there, step your left foot up in between your hands. We'll come through a lunge. Let your back knee settle to the floor. Inhale up into Anjane Asana, low lunge. And then right into our Hasta Vinyasa. Exhale, back of the hands to the floor. Same pattern we did before. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, palms join into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, back of the hands to the floor. Bowing down to the earth. Inhale, filling with air and opening up the heart space as the thumbs reach back. Draw the palms into the heart. And one more round like that. Inhale up. Exhale, hands float down. Inhale, rising up, opening into a T. Breathing out, palms come into the heart. Now we'll take both arms up into our lunge. And then we're going to add a side bend into our lunge, which is a little bit different. But this is a good way to open up the psoas that we were working on in part one of our practice. You're going to drop your left fingertips down as if you were trying to reach toward the floor. Let your right arm arc up over your head. If that feels uncomfortable, take a block and put it underneath your left hand. You can make a fist and lean onto it. And actually, using the block in this version is really nice because you don't have to worry so much about maintaining your balance. You can let go a little bit more. Let yourself sink into it. Inhale, come up through center. Both arms rise. Lifting your gaze up. Join the palms together, slide down the center line, and take your hands down to the floor. Curl your back toes under. Step your left leg back. Find your way through downward facing dog. And then we'll go head over to the other side. Step your right foot in between your hands. Drop your left knee down. Take an inhale, lift up into your low lunge. And then we start our Hasta Vinyasa here. We sweep the arms up on an inhale. Your exhale, palms face toward you. Drop the hands down. Inhale, open into a T. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Then second round, inhale to come up. Exhale, float the back of the hands down to the floor. Inhale, chest comes up, arms open wide. Lifting your gaze. Exhale, empty the lungs as the hands join together. Then third round, floating up, slowly dropping the hands down to the floor. Inhale, rising with the breath, spreading the arms. Exhale, palms to the heart. Inhale, the arms come up. Staying for a moment in our low lunge, and then getting ready to take our side bend on this side. Drop your right fingertips toward the floor. Let your left arm arc up over your head. And then maybe, if that feels a little bit precarious to you, you can take your block and put it underneath your supporting hand. Then you have more ability to just kind of sink into it. You don't have to work so hard to keep your balance, and that allows you to soften your muscles and get to a deeper place in your side bend. Inhale, bring yourself back up into center. Exhale, the hands slide down through the center, down to the floor. Bringing the hands to the mat, your right leg is going to step back into downward facing dog. And then we free the spine here. We roll forward, find a soft plank. Exhale, roll the hips back. Little knee bend at the end. Rolling yourself forward like a wave. And you can even scoop that forward and back like a little circle with your hips. Sway side to side, keep the pelvis free. Now let's come over to the left leg again. We step the left leg up. From your high lunge, you're going to walk to the right side of your mat. Pivot your feet until they come into parallel. You end up in a wide leg forward bend. Resting the back of the hands onto the floor. Palms are facing up. Inhale, come halfway up, flatten your spine, stick your tailbone back. Now we start to walk toward the right one more time, another 90-degree turn. Drop your back knee, which is your left leg, and inhale up into your Anjane asana. So what we've done is we started at the front of the mat, we did a 90-degree turn, another 90-degree turn, and now we're backwards. Lift your back knee, pivot around, find your wide leg forward bend again. You turn the same direction that you came from. Now another 90-degree turn so that you're facing the front of your mat, right where you started. Drop your back knee. Take an inhale up into Anjaneyasana. Lift your gaze, open up through the front of your throat. Spread your fingers wide. Palms come together, drop down through the center. Curl your back toes underneath. Left leg steps back. We'll take a few rolls in our downward facing dog. Roll to plank. Roll to down dog. Rolling forward into plank. Soft elbows. Rolling back, bending the knees at the end. Seeing how fluid you can make that spine movement. Now we'll go over to our second side. Bring your right foot up in between your hands. Start in your high lunge. Then we're going to drop the back knee down. Take your inhale into Anjaneyasana. This is our low lunge facing the front of our mat. Exhale, arms settle down. Back knee lifts up. And then you walk around. You're going to turn toward the left until you end up in a wide leg forward bend. Flip your palms to face up toward the ceiling. Let the back of the hands rest on the mat. Inhale halfway up. As you exhale, take another 90-degree turn. This time you're facing the back of your mat. Let your right knee drop down. Inhale, low lunge on the left side. Dropping the hands down, and then we start to turn back to the direction that we came from. Pivot around to find your wide leg forward bend. Open the palms up. That position of being receptive, opening the hands. Inhale halfway up. And then this time we're going to add in another little sequence. We're going to come up and step over to the side so we can go into a really wide leg stance. Angle your toes out. Bend down with the knees and the hips, and we come into goddess pose. The arms are up in this kind of a goalpost shape. 90-degree bend at the shoulders and the elbows. And drop your right arm onto your right thigh. Sweep your left arm up toward the ceiling. It's a nice side bend. Circle your top wrist. Inhale, come back into the middle. Exhale to the other side. Circle your top wrist. Inhale back through center, finding that cactus shape with the arms opening through the palms of the hands. And we'll go over to the right, starting to circle the left shoulder, circling it forward, opening it up and back. This is very much about just finding a range of motion that feels good for you. Don't push it too far. And changing that movement to roll the shoulder forward and back. Inhale, come back up into standing. And let's do that over to the other side. Right arm is on top. Circle the right wrist, then roll that down into a full shoulder circle. Exhale as the arm comes down. Inhale as it draws back and up. Roll the shoulder forward. Open it back. Sweep the arm overhead and take a big inhale to come up through center. Straighten the legs. Let yourself fold down, forward bend. And we're right back where we started. Inhale halfway up. Walk yourself around to the front of your mat. You're going to be framing your right foot. Drop your back knee down. Inhale up into Anjaneyasana asana. So we've completed our sequence turning to the right, 180 degrees to the back of the mat, turning to the left, 180 degrees to the back of the mat. So we completed a full circular pattern. We'll take our exhale, drop the hands down to the mat, bring your right leg back into down dog. From your down dog, wave yourself forward into a plank. Bend your elbows and lower down onto your belly. We come back into our rolling cobra. We inhale, feel the breath move up the spine. Exhale as the lungs empty, you lower down to the floor. Then second round, you have an option to add a leg lift in. As you inhale and the spine rolls up, lift your legs. Exhale, release down. Inhaling up. Exhale, lowering down. So find that wave. Try to ride the wave with your breath. If it feels good when you get to the top, you can even bend your knees like you're reaching your toes toward the back of your head. But make sure if you take that variation that there's no feeling of strain or tension in the lower back. Then we'll lift ourselves out of that. Tuck the knees underneath your body. Make your way back into a comfortable child's pose. Inhale. Come up into kneeling mountain. Sweep the arms up. Hasta Vinyasa. Drop the back of the hands to the floor. Inhale up onto the knees. Open the arms into a T. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bow down to the earth. Palms stay open. Inhale, rising up, opening the heart. Exhale, hands draw into the heart. Anjali Mudra. And then we'll end our practice with that. Bringing the head down. Settling to the earth, making ourselves humble. And wrapping the arms back around your body. You can stay here as long as you like resting. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice to work on Shakti energy. I hope you can join me for some of our other practices. We have a lot of different practices here on our YouTube channel.